A very good morning, students. Let us begin with chapter number 6, Beginning of Freedom Movement. Now, so far we have done about the freedom struggle of 1857. In that chapter, we studied about how the armies were told to bite the cartridge. Then outburst became. What was the causes of the failure? There was no unity. Leadership quality was missing. Then Queen's proclamation we have already seen. Changes in the policy, etc. In then fifth chapter we studied about the social and religious reforms made by different people, that is Indian thinkers, Rajram Mohan Roy. We saw about Brahmo Samaj, Arya Samaj, Pratna Samaj, different Samaj, and they worked for the welfare of the people. And then certain reforms were made for the women's also. We saw Pandita Ramabai, then Savitribai Phule, Mahatma Phule. These people worked for the welfare of the women, and lot of changes were made in their life. And in this chapter we're going to talk about background for the formation of Indian National Congress, INC, establishment of the Indian National Congress, why this system was set up, objectives of Indian National Congress, and moderate phase from 1885 to 1905. Let us begin, students. So, introduction. English educated Indians were instrumental in bringing about Renaissance. Now, instrumental means वो एक जरिया थे. Who educated Indians were the instrument in bringing the changes, Renaissance, as we saw in the last chapter. Intellectual change means what? Indian Renaissance. So that is what they launched reform movements in social, political, religious, and economic, cultural fields. In every field of life, they brought changes, whether it is society, whether it is politics, whether it is religion, whether it is economic, and whether it is cultural. Certain changes were brought by the thinkers. The Renaissance sowed seeds, बीज बोना, लोगों के दिमाग में बीज बोए about nationalism, that we all are together, we all are united. The various movements in different parts of the country created the need of a political organization at all India level having common goal. Now we saw why the 1857 war struggle failed, because there was no uniformity. एक जगह हो रहा था, दूसरी नहीं, दूसरा नहीं, एक नहीं, etc. So here they thought it is necessary to create all India level together, one, and fight for the right. Let's see now what happened here. Background for the formation of Indian National Congress, INC. When this INC was being formed, what was the reason, what is the background, why this was formed, क्यों उनको ये एक ग्रुप बनाना पड़ा इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस? लेट्स सी नाउ रीजन. Centralization of administration. As I told you, nobody, everyone was the leader there. So here, central, one power is must. The uniform policies and equality before law brought unity in the nation. The development of means of transport, communication, like roads and railways, brought people in different provinces together. Because of this transport, people came closer and they got connected to each other. With increase in contact with each other, the feeling of nationalism, that we all are Indians, nationalism जागृत हुआ उनके मन में. Next comes economic exploitation. We've already done this economic, how farmers were exploited. They were forced to plant cash crops, tobacco. I hope you remember this. So this was one of the reason कि उन्हें ये step उठाना पड़ा, that is to set up Indian National Congress. The economic exploitation of Indian through imperialistic policy. Now you know what is imperialism, no? A stronger country controlling the weaker country. A powerful country controlling the weaker country. By it can be by its military, by it can be wealth, etc. Led the drain of Indian wealth to England. Compulsion to grow cash crops, that is I told you. Land tax, recurring famines made condition of the farmers miserable. As I told you about the policies, land revenue, their land was confiscated and their life was miserable. Farmers, With the decline, traditional industries also started declining because their product was cheap, बहुत सस्ता आता था. But the imported were made from machines which was high quality. So traditional industries also, and there was unemployment, बेरोजगार बढ़ने लगा. Working class was exploited by the capitalist. Middle class suffered due to various new taxes. This led to the discontent in the country. Now also you see when GST was increased, so many every now anything you buy there is high GST. So this is all, well, middle class people are suffering lot because of this. Then comes Western education, as what is already told, that when Western education started, different values were put forth, such as liberty, equality, democracy, and nationalism among Indians. Indians inculcated the principle of rationalism, that is, we all are one, scientific attitude, humanity, and nationalism. They realize that they carry out work of country by following this principle. उन्हें समझ में आया, उन्हें they got to know that if we follow these principles, then our country can run properly. They develop the confidence that efficient governance based on this value can lead to the progress of the country. उन्होंने ठाम लिया कि यदि हम ये follow करें principles, then our country is going to progress. English language proved to be new medium of not only communication but also binding factor for the whole country. Now you learn English, it is a Western culture. People used to speak first only in Marathi and local languages. But Western education started and English became a medium of communication. Now, when we communicate with each other, if you go outside of a country, you should know English. Why? It is a mode of communication. You should communicate. So that became very helpful for the whole country. Next comes study of ancient Indian history. Now there were some people, they wanted to study about India. What is India actually? The Asiatic Society was established in Bengal to study ancient Indian culture by the Britishers. So Britishers wanted to study about our culture. क्या है हमारे कल्चर में? And that is the reason they set up Asiatic Society in Bengal. The manuscripts in Sanskrit, Persian, and many languages were examined and research was published. So they started doing research of the Sanskrit language. What is this? First, people used to write in Sanskrit languages, no, Sanskrit, Persian, Ardhamagdi. There were no Marathi and all the scripts. So they started doing research on that, and they started publishing with many languages. Dr. Bhaudaji Lad, Dr. R.G. Bhandarkar undertook the study of ancient Indian history and culture. So these two people, Dr. Bhaudaji Lad and Dr. R.J. Bhandarkar, these two people started studying about our culture. The realization that India had a rich ancient heritage aroused feeling of our national pride. They got to know, उन्हें समझ में आया, महसूस हुआ, when they studied about this ancient, they got to know our country is rich heritage. As we say in our pledge, no, India is my country, all Indians are my brothers and sisters. I am proud of its rich and varied heritage. When we say this in pledge, so we should be proud of our rich. We have so many things around. We are rich by our culture, we are rich by tradition, we are rich by our so many things. So they also realized the Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute. Research, you know what is research, no? Where the things are researched. They study on that particular thing, and then it is being taught. Now, for example, when a blood report is taken, it is taken to pathology. They research, they do what is there, and then they tell you, your hemoglobin is less, your sugar has increased, or whatever. So these are the research done with the help of the sample. So here also, when he got a chance to study our ancient culture, he got to know that, so where these researches are done. So, a Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute is working in Pune for the last 100 years. So, these Bhandarkar, Dr. Rajesh Bhandarkar Institution, by the name of his institution, Research Center. It is called Research Institute. It is still there in Pune for last 100 years. Contribution of newspapers. Newspapers and periodicals in English and vernacular languages. Vernacular means local languages. It can be Marathi, Hindi, local languages. Created political and social awakening. People started, as we have seen in last chapter, they started making people aware about by writings. They started writing the things. So here also newspapers, periodicals, that is, it can be magazines. Periodicals means it can be magazines. So they started writing about and making people aware about it. Newspapers like Darpan, Prabhakar, Hindu, etc. criticize the policy of the government. So, criticize means they started writing the negative things about what is wrong, what government is doing, so that people become aware. British government was trying to express, so they started writing in their newspaper. Establishment of Indian National Congress. Finally, Indian National Congress was set up. The founding session of Indian National Congress took place on 28th of December 1885 at Gokuldas Tejpal Sanskrit School in Pune. So Indian National Congress, where it was found, first it started where? First session on 28th December 1885 at Gokuldas Tejpal Sanskrit School in Pune. It was president was Umesh Chandra Banerjee, a renowned lawyer from Kolkata, and was attended by, so he was one of the renowned lawyer, वकील थे वो, Umesh Chandra Banerjee, and 72 delegates from different provinces of India, and there were 72 representatives from different parts of our country. Delegates means representative. Alan Octavian Hume took the initiative in founding the Indian National Congress. So he was the initiative. उसने जिम्मेदारी ली that he will be found Indian National Congress. Who? Alan Octavian Hume. Increase in number of Indians in administration and curtailment. What is curtailment? To reduce in the expenditure of the military were the demands sent to the British. Increase in the number of Indians in the administration. Now what request they found? Why this? First of all, this National Congress was set up so that these people, that is increase, Indians को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सीट मिले in administration. जो सत्ता चला रहे थे ब्रिटिशर्स, इन दैट इंडियन शुड गेट चांस. एंड अदर थिंग व्हाट? कर्टलमेंट मीन्स वाज टू रिड्यूस्ड द एक्सपेंडिचर. जो ज़्यादा खर्च हो रहा है मिलिट्री के ऊपर, वो कम करना है. वो द डिमांड सेंट टू द ब्रिटिश. इट पेव द वे फॉर द फ्रीडम, इंडियाज फ्रीडम मूवमेंट. नाउ व्हाट वर द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ इट? व्हाट वाज द इंटेंशन? मकसद क्या था? क्यों सेटअप किया दिस? To bring together people of India on common platform irrespective of their religion, race, caste, language and geographical territories. So their main intention was to bring whole India in one. Whether it is Hindu, whether he is Muslim, whether he is Christian, Parsi, no matter. Race, color, whether it is black, whether it is white, etc. Upper caste, lower caste, no matter. They should be united. To create feeling of oneness and bring about unity among them. To create feeling of oneness, that we are one, united, to understand each other's problem. Whether you are Hindu, whether you are Muslim, whatever your problems are, we should understand each other. That is the main intention. To discuss the measures for the upliftment of the country. How our country will progress. What things should be done. So their main intention was to bring together, irrespective of caste, religion, no matter which caste you belong, which religion you belong. Their main intention of Indian National Congress was to make people united. Now let us see what is this moderate phase. The leaders of Indian National Congress who advocated peaceful and constitutional manners were known as moderate. Now when this Indian National Congress was set up, INC, two groups of people were formed. दो प्रकार के लोग. Now also you see in our society there are two types of people. One, they will fight and take. They will fight, they will shout and take what they want. But some, they will make peacefully understand. ठीक है, understand. So these are the two kind of people. Here also moderate leaders were like peaceful, वो शांत दिमाग के थे. They will follow proper rules, constitutional manner. And the leaders of this national congress were realistic and highly educated and had faith on justice of British. So wo, we say no bichare bhole. They were right, okay, British will give us justice. They were that kind of mentality, shanti se, with the peaceful mind. The moderates wanted to carry out nationalistic movement within the framework of law of constitutional mean. So whatever laws were made, within those laws they wanted to take movement against them. They were the opinion that strong foundation need to be built through the organization work. So they thought, they were opinion that strong foundation is required. Base should be strong in order to build organized work. Whatever we want to prepare, like we want to put forth. ब्रिटिश के सामने अगर हमें कुछ भी पूछना है, then we should be very strong enough. The philosophy and principle like liberalism, freedom, equality, fraternity of the Western thinkers influenced them. So these values were in their mind. Bhaichara, equality, freedom, etc. So their mindset was about this. They wanted to have peaceful mind. So they got influenced by these things. And who all were the leaders? Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Firoz Shah Mehta, Surendranath Banerjee were the moderate leaders. So as I told you, in Indian National Congress, two groups were formed. These were moderates. In the next part, we will be studying about the other group. Please keep in mind these names: Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Firoz Shah Mehta, Surendranath Banerjee. These three people were the moderate leaders and they were with the peaceful mind, Shanta Dimag ke the. And in the next part, we'll be studying about next leaders. I hope this part is clear to you. Please solve the assignment. I'll be uploading 2 videos today. Solve both the assignment. Thank you, students. Stay safe.